Coast. So every so often, people come to the studio and they tell me what they do, and I say, darn, I should have come up with that idea. With me is Meg and Corinne. Did I
Yep.
get it right?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'm old, so sometimes. And it's WorkWise.
Yep. WorkWise.
Okay. But WorkWise didn't, it wasn't how it started, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So let's figure out what you do
Okay.
because you have a couple of pieces to what you do.
Yes.
So, what is, well, how did it start?
Okay. So WorkWise actually was built out of our original company, Concepts. So my mother worked in medical records at the hospital. She was a fantastic transcriptionist. She left, started her own transcription company, and all the doctors were like, "We're coming with you." And about 5 years later, they were like, "We don't have an answering service. We want you and your husband to build one for us. We want it customized to what we want." They said, "Sure." So they started Concepts Answering Service. It services the entire hospital system on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We have clients in Tennessee, Texas, Oregon, California, several private practice as well as large hospital systems. And then in 2020, we had been discussing doing something non-healthcare because the healthcare industry, it's unreliable, especially with technology advances, lots of changes. And we noticed a need for tradesmen is where it originally started. My mom's plumber would come to her house, stop 18 times to answer his phone. Um, he would rarely ever get the job done. He'd have to come back, and then his wife would forget to invoice her, and she'd be like, "I still haven't paid you because you didn't send many things." So she was like, we could be taking these calls, we could be scheduling these appointments, we could be dispatching, we could be invoicing for him, and he could be making more money. He could realistically take on 6 or 8 more jobs a day if he wasn't stopping 8 times to answer the phone. So it was really birthed out of that, out of the tradesmen who are, typically small business men who have a lot of family support that help them run their business. But with that comes a lot of time that you miss with your family and time off and ability to work on your business because you're too busy working in it. So we started WorkWise. It's not just for tradesmen, even though that's where the idea started. We really can service any sector. We have attorneys that we answer the phone for. If it's just them and a paralegal, they don't really need a full-time person to sit in their office and just answer calls. But if they need to step out, they can just roll it to us and we can take the message. We have appliance repair men that we schedule their appointments, we dispatch them out, we handle issues. If parts come in, we can call their client and say, "Hey, the part came in, do you want me to go ahead and get you scheduled for him to come back out, put this in?" It's really any administrative task that you don't need to hire even a full or a part-time person for. We can be that extension of your office, and we always try to say it exactly like that. We don't want it to seem like you have an outside entity helping you. We want to be a seamless extension of your office. So that is where it came from, and that's what we've built it into.
It's interesting because I always say use a professional, okay? And people heard this out of my mouth before. You can't be a burn surgeon and a proctologist. So if you're a plumber, be a plumber.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a salesperson. You don't
Right.
have to be a secretary.
Right.
And I could change my own oil. Done it when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But today, it would take me 2 hours, and it would take the professional 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
In that extra hour plus, I would make more money than it cost me to have him do my oil.
Exactly.
Okay? And when I say money, it's not just money. I might want to spend that extra time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, life is very short. And if we work it around the dollar and you really think about it, these, for lack of a better word, the offshoot people that help you out really give you a big, big benefit. So, one of the things that's cool about you two is I was talking in the green room, and you guys know each other for a little bit of time
30 years actually this summer.
since kindergarten.
Since the summer before, well, summer before kindergarten for her, summer before first grade for me.
Okay, that's a long
Mm-hmm.
time to know somebody and still talk to them.
Yes, and we have not lived in the same state for several years now, but we have kept up our entire lives. So.
Okay, so you spoke about being in, I guess, Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
but you're here now.
Yes.
How did that all come about?
Well, so the business started on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. while we do service areas that are, like I said, California, Oregon, Tennessee, all of that. So she being part of our family, and she's also been in sales for a very long time. And we've been talking for a while now about where else can we expand? Where else would this be, beneficial? And we've been talking about this for probably a year and a half now, just saying, oh, it'd be so fun to work together. Like, we should sell the business together, and, mom's going to retire and I don't want to do this by myself. And then finally, about 6 or 8 months ago, we said, okay, we're going to buckle down and be serious about it. She had just moved from Davie to Port St. Lucie.
Oh, smart move.
Yeah, no, I don't want to go back.
And I said, let's do it. And I mean, honestly, in the month that we've just been working, the community here is fantastic. We've had a lot of outreach. We've had, just really kind words and everything. And it seems to really have hit the ground running. So
What's really cool about what you do, besides it being something different, is it's a niche market.
mhm.
Okay, I mean there are answering services out there.
Yep.
Okay, but just the way you explained it to me in the green room was like, this is more than just an answering service.
100%. And that my mother would tell you that is the number one basis of what she tells our employees. Everybody, we are more than just an answering service. That is truly our motto.
So okay, I have to ask you this: when your mom started this
Mhm.
many moons ago, you were considerably younger.
Yes.
Did she drag you all over? Is that how you learned it?
Well, no, that's what's so interesting. So you made a good point earlier, and I wish I had mentioned it at the beginning, but she started this because she wanted more time with her family. There were 4 of us kids and my dad, and she wanted to be able to work from home and not miss our football games and our band competitions and this, that, and the other. And yes, every single one of us children has filtered through the business at some point in our lives. I am the only one that has worked for her for a prolonged period of time. So I worked for her for several years, and then I went and worked at the hospital our big hospital system that we service. I went and worked there for about 7 years, and then I came back when we did an expansion into an in-house call center, so we can also integrate with hospitals' EHR systems. We do that on the business support side for WorkWise as well. If you, like we talked about, an appliance repair company, if you have a CRM you use, we can integrate it. We learn it. You can train me one time on it, and you'll never have to train anybody again, because I'll train my staff how to use it. And if somebody in my staff leaves, I'm the one that has to worry about hiring somebody new, training them. Like, you don't have to do any of that anymore. So I came back to kind of do that portion for her. So I am, yes, the one has been there in and out, but every single one of his children has filtered in a little bit.
You moved to the Treasure Coast.
A year ago now.
A year ago.
Mhm.
Was it hard to convince Meg that, hey, this was to be the place to start this?
Us doing this together has been a thought, I think, for more than a decade at this point. However, moving here, I saw a much better community to set up in, because we want to mirror the business that they're doing already in the service projects that they provide on the Gulf Coast. It's that type of similar feel here versus where I lived before in Broward County, just saturated, crowded, crazy. I moved up here and I felt Mississippi again in that small town feel where we have a community, and in fact several communities that are nearby as well. And I saw more of a need and a better way to integrate within the community here versus where I was before. So it was time.
I'm putting you on the spot. Why her?
She wouldn't claim it, but she is one of the smartest people I know. She can sell ice to an Eskimo. She's a phenomenal salesperson. And not only that, she cares. She has a passion. I think a lot of, my mom and I have a passion for this business, just like my dad did when he was alive. I mean, this is, I could go do anything. Like I said, I'm working on my second master's degree. I could go work anywhere and do anything. I have a passion for this business and I want to do it. And she has the same passion for our family and for our business, because she's grown up with us our whole lives and has seen it. And I think it's important. And I think that you can't truly sell something you're not passionate about. And so there's not a whole lot of people that I could go and make a partnership like this with, other than her, that truly understands the passion behind why these two companies were built.
I always say, and again, people with me for like 30 plus years, I always say, you can make $1 million selling paper clips if you truly believe in them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You've really got to believe in what you're selling, or in order for it to make sense to you, for you to make it make sense to somebody else.
Right.
But, so now she comes to you with, you went to her with the idea.
I went to her like several times. So she was still
told her
working
I
for
was
another
ready.
company, and she was like, oh, And I finally, when she was like, I think I might transition to something else, I was like, I'm swooping in.
Yeah, I didn't want to start something else where I'd, spend another 5 years there and not have anywhere to go. I've been in insurance for a very long time. I've had various client relations projects, management before. So, transitioning into this has given me the ability to keep the fulfilling part of being an insurance agent, which was the service for me,
Right.
while helping build a legacy that we've been talking about forever. They really are truly family to me. So there was just no question. It was time. We were ready. And I think we're really in the right place for it as well.
So you decide that you're going to do this, and you know her a long time, you know the family a long time. Did you know the industry throughout those years too?
Bits and pieces. I've gained a lot from my own experience. I've managed all kinds of offices, agencies, people,
Call centers.
call centers. So I have, all of the capabilities that I need to mirror what they're doing here. We'd have a plug and play system ready to go. And we are at this point ready to take on new clients as well. So I think we're very well prepared and, again, in the right place to do so.
What do you see the future of the company?
I mean, fingers crossed. If we keep going the way we're going, I mean, I see us really building a very sustainable and beautiful extension over here. Just with everything I've seen, like she says, it really does mirror the community that we have over there. And like we were talking about earlier, I don't know how familiar you are, but the Gulf Coast on Mississippi is so different than any other area. I can't explain it. It's all that melting pot of New Orleans and the Mississippi Gulf Coast and a little bit of Alabama and southern Florida and or
Northern Florida.
western Florida. That's all the way over there, but northwestern
The
Florida.
Panhandle of Florida.
But it's just, I think that, like she was saying, it's so similar to what we're doing and the type of feel of the area that we're in here. Like we were talking about the Mississippi Gulf Coast and the Treasure Coast, that's the kind of play on the very similar aspects across both areas. And then, like you said, having the passion that I have where I am, having it here with her, I just think it sells itself to have somebody that truly believes in it and then can tell you, like, we really care about, we want to help you streamline your business. At the end of the day, that is what it's about. We want to make your job easier. We want to help you grow your business. Yeah, it benefits us too, but
Of
our
course.
goal is really to help you
It's
grow
supposed
your
to be a
business.
win-win.
Yeah,
That works for
it's a win-win.
everybody.
hmm
So you flew down, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. And how long you been here?
So I got in on Saturday, and I'll be here through Wednesday.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to
To
hit us
get
up,
set up,
we're here.
basically.
Mhm.
And okay. What do you think it's gonna be like? Because guys have always been friends, but now you're in the same working environment. You think it changes anything?
I think we're a force together.
Mm-hmm.
We're great apart, but we are an absolute force together. And the passion for how this started and where we can take it will only help build momentum from here. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to integrating in the community in similar ways with Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, service projects. We're actually doing a Christmas in July function on July 20th from 12 to 5, and it's, decorated trunks and candy for the kids and a way for me to get out
Networking.
and shake some hands in the community. And
That's you've come at a strange time because we're in an election year. Okay, on the treasure everywhere, but on the Treasure Coast, and there are people out there in politics going out there and shaking hands and kissing babies. Okay, so I guess this is kind of like you're campaigning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for your business, and like I said, every so often someone comes through here and tells me what they do, and I say, "Damn, I should have thought of that." And again, I'm a forward thinker. I started this industry, and everybody said to me, "It's a pipe dream. Don't be stupid. Get a real job." And I stuck to it and made it successful. And really, that's really what it takes: believing what you do. And you're blessed because you have a lot of support. Does your husband support the fact that you're making this move?
absolutely.
Okay. See, I didn't have any of that. Okay. My wife was my wife at the time, and surely this wouldn't exist if we never connected. but she took it to a whole nother level. I was just squeaking by with something that never existed. So you're really, you don't know, I can't tell you how blessed you are to have support and to have family support because you have your husband and you have their side. So it doesn't get much better than that. We're getting to the top of time. How do people find you? Do you have a phone number?
We do.
Okay.
Our phone number is 772-222-7747.
Okay. And the website.
The website is workwisesupport.com.
Everybody, I said it a million times, I'll say it again. Always use a professional. If you don't, it's end up costing you 5 times more money, and usually, truth of the matter is, 10 times more in frustration. And your example of the plumber is a prime example of not only did he get frustrated when his phone rang, but the customer gets frustrated because you're here to, I'm paying you. You're here to be doing something, and now you're on the phone. Everybody, use a professional. I want to thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you so
It
much.
was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
Everybody have a great day. We'll be right back.